Men, and I use the term loosely. Hey, looking at you right here is a set of dirty, crusty old crankcases. They're nasty. Greasy, grimy, embedded road dirt, filth, scum. Bad. These are bad. Anyway, we're going to clean these today, and we're going to clean them with this. Super Clean products. The folks at Super Clean contacted me late last year around the holidays and said, hey, if we give you some Super Clean, can you do a video using the product and tell people about it? And I said, free? Free? My eyes light up when I hear the words free. So I said, sure. And they said, no obligation, no promises made, in terms of we'll give you Super Clean if you say it works good. Nothing like that's going on. They just said, do a video, tell us what you think. So I got their free shit, and I'm going to do a video about it.
Shining like a diamond in a goat's ass. Thank you, Super Clean.
And let me premise the video by saying this. Years ago, when I worked in shops, most of the shops had a gunk tank into which we would drop these kinds of parts to get them clean. And for those of you unfamiliar, Gunk made a product called HydroSeal. And I think the current version of that is HydroSeal 2. But anyway, back in the olden days, the Gunk tank consisted of a stainless steel tank, usually about 3x3x3 or thereabouts. It was filled with Gunk HydroSeal. And Gunk HydroSeal would peel the shell off a tortoise, let me tell you. It was nasty stuff. In the responsible shops, the Gunk tank had a vent hood over it with an exhaust fan. The fumes would probably blind you. Seriously, it would peel the skin off you if you stuck your hand in it. It was nasty. But it cleaned everything spotlessly clean. It removed the paint off of shit. It got it down to the bare metal. Really nice. The current version, HydroSeal 2, I bought some a long time ago, like 10, 12, 15 years ago, and I tried it out. It was nowhere near as potent as the old stuff, and I assumed the environmental police watered it down, had it watered down so that it was largely ineffective. So since then, I have been struggling to find ways to easily clean these things. And, some people say, well, throw it in a sandblaster. Well, all of this crud ends up in the sand, and it's just no good. So you got to get the big crud off first. The oil, the embedded grease. I've had some of these engines where they've leaked so much oil and so much road grime has gotten in there that essentially it forms a substance very similar to asphalt that could be caked on the motor up to 1/4 of an inch thick. Nasty, nasty, nasty. But anyway, today we're going to give Super Clean a tryout, and we're going to see if it works. So anyway, I've got these crankcases. It is a matched pair, so they're equally covered with crud. And one half we're going to spray with this stuff. Well, maybe this stuff. Yeah, probably this stuff over here. A Tough Task Degreaser. This aerosol, I do believe, is the same as what's in the spray bottle over here. And this also says Tough Task Cleaner Degreaser. And basically the instructions say spray it all over the place, let it soak in, and then rinse it off. So we're going to have one half of the case covered with this shit, and the other half of the case is going to be covered with this shit. I watch a YouTube channel called A Few Acre Farm, and a guy named Pete rebuilds international tractors quite a bit, and this is what he uses in his initial cleaning stages. So we're going to try these two out side by side. And just for the record, what I typically have been using is this Gunk Foamy Engine Cleaner. This has worked pretty good for the most part. But anything that works better is going to be welcome. So we're going to give Super Clean a tryout, and we'll see what happens. Super Clean versus Automagic Red Hot. And I think I'll do the right case with Super Clean and the left case with the Automagic Red Hot, and we'll see what happens.
Clean your nuts with Super Clean.
All right, we got our two cases out here. Super Clean, the one on the right. Red Hot, the one on the left. I'm going to soak them down. All right, that's pretty good soaking for that one.
Super dirty? Try Super Clean.
Super Clean, I could see the grease kind of bubbling up through the foam over here, and this spray foams up and it seems a little more clingy than the Red Hot. But anyway, we're going to let this soak. I'm going to get the power washer out and get it hooked up and get it ready to go. Okay, these have been soaking for about 7 minutes. All the instructions say is to soak it for an appropriate length of time, and considering the degree of crud, I don't know, I'm thinking at least 10 minutes will probably be good. I'm going to refresh it. I am of the if some is good, more is better philosophy. And we'll re-up the Red Hot case. All right, we're going to give it another, 10 minutes maybe. Okay, these have been festering about 25 minutes. Let's see if the power washer will run, and we'll knock the crud off and see what happens.
I clean my crud with Super Clean.
Here's the cases I just got done cleaning. They were blown off a little bit and just allowed to air dry. I haven't touched them. We're going to take a closer look at these in a few minutes. Now we're going to take a look at these parts. Automagic and Super Clean over there. One's on the right, we'll get Super Clean. One's on the left, we'll get the Automagic. I'm not going to pressure wash these. I'm going to just spray them down with these products and rinse them off with the hose. Not everybody has a pressure washer to blast the hell out of something. So we're just going to see how good these products remove the oil and the dirt. The buildup of crud on these is not nearly as bad as it was on the crankcases. But it'll give us an honest idea of how they clean up just with water and a little maybe brushing. So anyway, we'll pull these outside, spray them down, soak them a little bit, maybe brush them a little bit, and we'll see what happens. Super Clean. Parts on the right. Red Hot. Parts on the left. Well, this is going to be no challenge. We'll be back in, 20 minutes. Take a look at them and see how they're doing.
Got dirt in your crack? Try Super Clean.
I'm gonna do a little scraping and poking around on here. And a little refresh. Okay, these have been festering for a half hour or so. Let's hose them off.
I clean my cases with Super Clean.
All right, so let's take a closer look at these cases and wrap this up. This is the case, heavily crusted with dirt and grime, cleaned with the Super Clean Tough Task Cleaner Degreaser Aerosol form. This stuff worked pretty good. Really impressed with it, actually. You know, there was thick dirt and crud mixed with oil in here. And, you know, I'm sure the power wash had a lot to do with it, but so did the cleaner. There's no oil residue left on this thing whatsoever. Really happy with the way it performed. I had been using Gunk foaming engine cleaner. This stuff is cheaper than the Gunk, at least in my perusing of Amazon. This is cheaper. So I may very well be making a switch over here. But very happy with the way that worked out on here. Got most of the crud out. Really worked pretty well. No complaints whatsoever. It was worth the time to run this little experiment to see how it worked out. So anyway, Super Clean on Grungio crankcase aerosol foaming action worked great. I like it.
Clean deep with Super Clean.
Okay, and here we have the case cleaned with the Automagic Red Hot. It worked pretty well. It's cheaper than the Super Clean. It worked pretty well. You know, all the oil residue is removed. This case wasn't quite as filthy as the other case. There was less, dirt caked onto it. But, between it and the power washing, all the oil residue is gone. You know, this in here was all piled up with dirt and oil mixed together. And it's worked pretty good. I'm happy with this stuff too. I think I would still prefer the Super Clean over this because the foaming action seemed better with the Super Clean. But anyway, this provided satisfactory results, so it's an option. So in a head-to-head comparison, Super Clean comes out on top. I think I will be buying this stuff in the future in place of the Gunk foaming engine cleaner. This stuff worked good.
Crush the crud with Super Clean.
In this head-to-head comparison, the Super Cleaner hand sprayer on this part, the Red Hot cleaner on this part, the results were a little less clear-cut. They both removed oily residue. On these covers, a lot of crud gets built up in here, and with a little help, they were both fairly effective. They did get the oily residue out. These parts are clean and dry to the touch. They needed some help to work, though. Super Clean, marginally better than the Red Hot, a little bit. Like I say, not as clear cut between the foaming cleaner and the hand spray cleaner. Couple cautions. This cover obviously is not polished. This cover was polished at one time, and there is some etching that took place. So some of the chemical in here did a little etching, and I'm going to repolish. This is going on a motor that's actually being rebuilt. This is going to be polished and buffed out, so I wasn't concerned about that. I'm sure the surface will restore easily. But if you're going to use something like this, or even something like this, you got to be careful because it can etch the surface of polished aluminum. So there must be a little acidic compound in there to be leery of. But anyway, results were generally pretty good. Like I say, a little less clear. The Super Clean maybe come out marginally on top of the Red Hot. For general cleaning, the Red Hot would probably be good. I don't think I would use either of these on a assembled motorcycle with any polished aluminum on it, because you could be in for a world of hurt restoring the polish if you use this product on a polished aluminum surface. I'd want to do a lot more experimentation with it before I just decided to spray it on a finished bike and see what it did. I mean, it's okay for me because I'm overhauling engines and I want all the crud off. I'm not worried about this little bit of acid etching on over here. That's, that'll polish out. That's not a big deal. But on a finished bike, it could be a deal breaker.
Grimy to gleaming with Super Clean.
Okay, here are the other two parts. Once again, this part was cleaned with Super Clean, and this part, this primary, was cleaned with the Red Hot. And you could see the little bit of etching in here. They both were equally well about getting the oil residue off. I mean, this surface is not oily at all anymore. It did remove most, if not all, of the greasy residue. Like I say, results were not so clear-cut as with the foaming cleaner. And you could see the Red Hot on the areas of this that were bare aluminum did a considerable amount of etching to it. So, once again, caution. I don't know that I would use this on a polished aluminum surface without further testing. This cover was pretty clean on the inside already. This cover, you can see the Super Clean didn't quite dissolve some of this crud down in here. And, I don't know whether I didn't, get enough on it, or, I did help it along with a old paintbrush to, kind of scrub a little bit. But this particular residue, I'm not particularly concerned about. This cover may be going to the junk pile too. It's got some cracks in critical areas that are not so easily repaired. But anyway, it worked okay. So in this head-to-head comparison, I would still give a little bit of a nod to Super Clean. I think it beat out the Automagic Red Hot. These tests I did were in no means scientific. I did them the way I did them to replicate the way that I would probably use these products. And, using them the way I would use them, this came out marginally ahead compared to the Red Hot. Anyway, that's about it. For those of you who have watched my previous videos on the 75 project, this is the case I decided not to use. And I'm just kind of throwing this in here because it's kind of interesting. You can see how crappy the welds are, okay? One of the things I didn't notice the first time I looked at it because it was so covered with crud is this. This crack right here. Didn't notice it at first, and you could see it runs down the side, cuts across the case over here, and then runs up into this mess over here. Bad enough for you? Well, how about this? The steel bushing is separating from the aluminum in through here. A crack begins over here, runs up in this direction, all along here, and then it progresses all the way through to the top of the crankcase. This crankcase is leaving this bench I've got it sitting on, and it's going into my scrap pile. It just ain't worth fixing. So that wraps up this video. Hey, you Super Clean folks, if you want to sponsor a channel, here's your chance. Send me a case of that foaming cleaner to start out with, and we'll take it from there. But anyway, that wraps this one up. Hope you all enjoyed it, and tune in again for whatever the next video might be. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye. Just a quick reminder. You can help support and grow this channel, first of all and most importantly, by hitting that subscribe button. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to do a little more, join me on Patreon. Links down below. So go ahead and join me on Patreon if you feel so inclined. And as always, coffee cups and stickers are available. I got a new design coffee cup. I like the old ones, but I like these new ones better. So coffee cups and stickers, links also down below. And with that, I am out of here. Hey, thank you all ever so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye.